Right, I want to do a review in comparison of these three different cases. These are from three different manufacturers, so to speak, even though these are actually the same. But they used to be different, but they merged. But these are not the only manufacturers of this type of case, but these are probably the most popular ones. So this was the first one that I got, the Pelican 1200, and actually this camera is what most of the videos on my channel were made using. But anyway, so the problem with this case is that these latches are very hard to close. I'm not even gonna try to close them on the video because then I would have to move the case just to close it. Basically, when in real life, when I open and close these latches, I just put my foot, like the case on the floor, I put my foot on top, this squishes it together, and then it closes. I'm not even gonna try to do that now. Basically, this latch, it's not bad quality. It's like really strong, but it's really stiff. So like, if you're buying this for like, if you're like a marine or something and you want to like jump with this off on the helicopter or something, and you really have no problem with like finger strength or something like that this is actually a very good case. It's also the cheapest of the three, and it's the easiest to get. It's the easiest to get in any color that you like, and it's the easiest to get replacement foam for. So they all have the same type of foam, which is, there's an egg crate foam on the top, there's a middle layer of cubed foam which you pluck out like this, and there's also a thin layer of like simple foam on the bottom, which is whatever. They're all the same in that regard, but they're different than others. So this is like a very rugged but hard to use latches, and easy to get, cheapest, best availability in different colors, like you can buy it in most stores, and easiest to get the replacement foam set for. Alright, so I needed a case for my headphones, but I didn't want to buy the same one first because that would be boring. Why would I buy the same one again when I can get something different, have fun, right? But secondly, I really didn't like having to work with these latches, so I thought that let me get HPRC, which is made in Italy. The Pelican is made in USA, HPRC is made in Italy, I thought. And HPRC is known for being lighter weight. It's about half a pound lighter than the Pelicans, and it's also known for being more compact. So all of these protrusions are smaller on the HPRC. So you see, like, this latch is almost flush, whereas on the Pelican, the latches take up a lot of space. So I wanted to try the HPRC because it's lighter, it's more compact, there's less protrusions on the outside, and also the handle, I felt like it's probably gonna be more comfortable, right? The HPRC is $10 more, $50 versus $40 for the Pelican, but I felt like it's worth to experience something different and maybe better, lighter, and so on. And most of all, I was hoping that the latch would be easier to operate. So the latch is indeed very easy to operate. There's no effort whatsoever. That's just I'm sending this one back, that's why there's nothing in here, because I actually don't like it. But even though it's garbage, we have to talk about like the features of it. So first of all, you notice this stays in place. There's something in here that's causing it to pause in this orientation. It's not folding by itself. You have to like overcome some resistance. And again, in this position as well, you see, it's not opening like that as well. So there are two positions in which the lid sort of sticks. this is by design. It's actually a very good feature. The Pelicans do not have that, so that's cool. Now the latch, the way it works is it's completely effortless. There's no force required whatsoever to either open or close it. This is very different from Pelican, where you need like a lot of force to either open or close the Pelican. It requires a ton of force. Zero force with the HPRC, so that was a huge improvement. But one thing I don't like about this latch is that actually when you open it, well, like I opened it right now, right? But you see it's still holding the lid. Now maybe that's a good safety feature, that even though it's already open, the lid is not opening, but it's kind of annoying because you have to do a second action of releasing it to open. So that's just, you know, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Now, why this case is garbage and why I'm returning it? Because look at this. This handle does not fold flat. It hits this valve. Like, why didn't you put the valve up here? Well, because they wanted a space here for a sticker to identify the case, but that's fucking idiotic. You could put the valve on top and the sticker on the bottom. Well, maybe then the handle would block the sticker, whatever. I don't care. This to me is unacceptable. Like, I don't care what you do. This is not right, because like you see there's already an indentation just from shipping on the handle from this valve. Now maybe there's nothing wrong with this, but it just annoys me and I just cannot stand this. Like, it shouldn't look this way. Like, all the Pelicans, the handle folds completely flat. This is ridiculous to me. And then I thought that, you know, well, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I should keep it. Maybe I'm just being a, you know, just nitpicking, right? But then I see that the sticker that says HPRC made in Italy with the Italian flag, it's peeling off by itself. Like, I didn't try to hit pause. So sorry about that. So the sticker is peeling off by itself. I didn't try to make it come off. In fact, I tried to stick it back, and but I stick it back, a few minutes later it comes back off. So, like, let's say it should look like this, right? But it keeps coming off. And, you know, if this was a $10 case made in China, I would say, well, who cares, right? But you're paying, it's actually the most expensive of the three. It's the Pelican is $40, the Pelican Storm is $43, and this one is $50. And it's made in Italy. And what is the point of having something made in Italy if the fucking sticker that says made in Italy can't even stay in place? So then I had to come to grips with the fact that, yes, this is in fact overpriced garbage. And that's what the reviews basically said. I wanted an HPRC case for a long time, but all the reviews say that it's basically more expensive but not as good as the Pelican. And, you know, that's exactly what it is. I mean, it is the smallest of the three on the outside, being the same size on the inside, and it's also the lightest of the three for the same internal body. So if you absolutely need the lightest weight case with the smallest possible outer dimensions, this is still, oh, you see it's already started to come off. Fucking, it's garbage. So if that's your like number one priority, is to have the case as light and compact as possible for the same interior dimensions, then this is still going to be your best choice between these three. But for me, I cannot accept this. All right, fine. So then I had to think of something else, and I looked at this Pelican Storm, and I'm not sure how I overlooked it in the first place, because in retrospect it seems like the obvious choice. So it's still a Pelican, although I guess the actual Pelican says a Pelican product, Torrance, California, made in USA. This one is also made in USA, but it says Pelican products, South Deerfield, Massachusetts, USA. So even though they're both Pelican and they're both made in USA, the normal Pelican says California and the Pelican Storm says Massachusetts, whatever. And also, apparently Storm used to be a separate company, but Pelican and Storm merged or whatever, and now it's called Pelican Storm. And on the Pelican website it says that they're both the same, except that the Storm has a easy to open latch. Well, it does have easy to open latch, but to me they're also completely different. Like, just look at the handles on these two. Like, can you does it look the same to you? It doesn't look the same. But with this is going to be different depending on the size of the case. So like if you get a large Pelican case, the handle might actually be nicer on the Pelican versus the Storm. But in this particular size, this is a really nice handle. It's actually rubber coated. It's really good, except that when I'm wearing gloves, my hand still fits in there, but it's kind of a tight fit in thick gloves. So maybe it would have been it could have been better, but for a small case, it's hard to fit a large handle. Anyway, this handle, I'm not saying that it's like hard to use or anything. There's no problem, but it's not really that pleasant to hold the way it is. But this one is really nice. So, and just overall, the styling is completely different from all sides. Like this versus this. I cannot say that this is the same case. It doesn't look like it's the same. Also on the bottom, this one looks like that, and this one looks like that. They don't look the same to me. Anyway, but Pelican says that it's basically the same, except for the difference in the latch. Now, the way the latch works, they call it press and pull. So you have to press over here and pull over here, and it opens. It's probably as easy to open as the HPRC. Maybe HPRC is slightly easier to open simply because this button is a little hard to find, because it's kind of flush and you sort of have to find, and you cannot press on the bottom of the button because that's where it's sort of the way it works. You have to press where it says press, which is on the top of the button. So it's kind of hard to find the spot, but once you find the spot, it opens without very little effort. I would say HPRC is still easier to open, mainly because you don't have to fish for that spot. You just pull it off right here. So yeah, the HPRC is still easier, but this is good enough. And it doesn't have that annoying thing where after you open it, it's still stuck. So overall, I think these are both good designs as far as the latch, the HPRC and this. So it clicks in place effortlessly and automatically, and then to unlock it, you press and pull. So this is where I ended up putting my headphones in. I'm really happy with this case. The latch is, as like I said, to me it's completely different latch, but it's as good as the HPRC latch. But the case itself is as good as the Pelican case. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Here you have with the HPRC you get great latches with the garbage case, and with the Pelican you get great case with garbage latches. But with the Storm you have a great case and great latches. So I really don't see any downsides to this case. Well, it is a little bit wider because these latches are so big that they can only fit on the sides and not in the front, which makes the case a little bit wider by maybe an inch. But to me, it's worth it to get a quality case where the sticker doesn't peel off and the handle folds flat. In fact, not only does the handle fold flat, it clicks into place so it stays flat. So if you throw this case into whatever, the handle is not gonna come up all by itself. So you can either have it locked in flat position, or you can have it locked in upright position, which is perfect. It's exactly what you want. And so the handle is perfect, the latches are perfect, the case itself is great. It is about the same weight as the regular Pelican case. So they're both about 3 pounds versus the HPRC is 2.5 pounds. So HPRC is lighter. It's definitely, the HPRC is definitely more compact and lighter. And it still has great latches, but just, I don't know, this, I just can't get over this. It bothers me. So, and the fact that HPRC is $50 and this is $43, I feel like this is a much higher quality product than the HPRC. It should cost twice as much probably, but it costs actually less. The only problem with this is that out of those three, this was the hardest to find. In fact, I actually went to Manhattan and picked it up in at the Rama store physically. So online I couldn't find it with free shipping, but since I live in New York City, I was able to pick it up in a physical store. But this is the hardest to find of the three. But if you can find it, this is my recommendation. All right, thanks.